Purchasing a property is an exciting time, but it can feel like your life is on hold whilst all the legal paperwork is sorted out. The transaction can only move as fast as the slowest person in the chain. On average, transactions can be finalized in 6 to 8 weeks after the suspensive conditions have been fulfilled or the full purchase price has been paid in cash. Various factors can affect the timeline of a transaction. For example, where the transaction is subject to the sale of the purchaser's property, where the parties fail to provide information as requested by the conveyancer, or delays on securing the purchase price, all which can add a few extra weeks to the process. The good news is that everyone is working towards the same goal, to have the transaction registered and the purchaser into their dream home. When you buy a house, there are several parties who will help you. Your property practitioner will help you find your dream home and give you sound advice on the property condition as received by the seller, surrounding areas and market-related prices. Your mortgage originator or bank consultant will help to find the best home loan for you. Your transferring attorney, JJR, will ensure that the conditions of the offer to purchase is adhered to, and that the property is transferred in accordance with the conditions of the title deed. The transferring attorney has an obligation to execute the offer to purchase in accordance to the applicable legislation. Let's look at all the work that the transfer attorney, JJR, do during the transaction. Firstly, they need to look at the legality of the offer to purchase, whether the offer to purchase was correctly prepared, signed, and that the instruction is executable. Secondly, they need to verify your identity. This is required by law, so bear with them. Try to provide everything they ask for as quickly as possible. This will expedite the process. They'll also need to collect payment of the transfer and bond costs. This is important as some payments must be made before they can apply for transfer duty or clearance certificates. In the instance where a purchaser is required to pay a deposit, it will be paid back to the purchaser if the purchaser fails to obtain a home loan and the transaction falls through. JJR will aim to draft the transfer documents as soon as possible after the suspensive conditions have been fulfilled or the purchase price has been paid in full. In the case of a cash transaction, JJR will immediately proceed to draft the documents and arrange signing thereof, but registration will only be effected once the full purchase price is received. The process will not be delayed until the purchase price is paid in full. Money borrowed to buy property is called a home loan or mortgage bond. The condition to receive an approved home loan is normally included as a suspensive condition which suspends the working of the offer to purchase until such time as the purchaser has obtained a home loan for the amount and within the timeframe as specified in the offer to purchase. It generally takes between 14 to 21 days for a home loan application to be fully processed. This is the first step towards a successful transaction, as the whole process can only start once the home loan has been approved and accepted by the purchaser. The actual home loan instruction is sent out electronically to the bond registration attorney after the quotation is accepted by the purchasers, which can happen immediately, although it can take up to 7 days. The conveyancer attending to the bond registration on behalf of the bank will scrutinize the instruction and make sure that the details are correct and that they comply with the bank's conditions. There is generally a third attorney who acts on behalf of the existing bond holder and who attends to the cancellation of the existing bond. The cancellation attorney will request the transferring attorney to furnish them with a guarantee to cancel the existing bond. The transferring attorney provide the bond attorney with instructions as to how the funds must be paid out. As soon as they can, the transfer and bond attorney will draft the transfer and bond documents and call upon their clients to sign the documents. If JJR Attorneys is attending to both the bond and transfer registration, an appointment will be scheduled with the purchaser to sign all the documents simultaneously. After the bond documents are signed, the conveyancers attending to the bond registration will provide the transferring attorneys with a guarantee confirming that they will receive payment of the purchase price on registration. It is the responsibility of the transferring attorney to ensure that the other attorneys are ready to lodge, after all the necessary clearances have been received. Lodgement in the deeds office is pre-arranged and all the firms involved in a transaction proceed with lodgement on the same day. After lodgement in the deeds office, the process takes approximately 7 to 10 working days, where the documents are examined on 3 different levels by 3 different examiners who ensure the validity and legality of the documents lodged. After the documents have passed examination, it comes on to preparation in the deeds office. At this stage, the conveyancer has 5 working days to finalize the finances and compliance in terms of the contract. If all is in order, the conveyancer gives an instruction that the matter can proceed to registration. If a matter is not registered within the 5 days, it is rejected by the deeds office system and must be relodged for re-examination. After registration, the conveyancer still has a lot to do. The guarantees normally pay by midnight and then reflect in the transferring attorney's trust account the following day. The transferring attorney, JJR, will then account to all the parties the day after registration. The purchaser becomes the legal owner of the property on the day of registration and can receive the keys of the house and move into the property. Normally, occupation is given to the purchaser on the day of registration in the deeds office, unless it was agreed to by the seller and purchaser prior to registration.
For more information, contact us on 012 362 5787 or visit our website at www.jjrinc.co.za.